Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo! Yeah.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hey there, it's Tuesday. I don't know exactly what that means other than it's just the second day for us to work this week, but it's Tuesday. It's not one of those special
It's one day
days.
closer to Friday.
No, it's not hump day. It's not, the day that starts bending it towards the weekend. It's not Monday, which everybody seems to hate. It's not even Thursday.
Which by the way, real quick, I did, after we talked about it off air, I did watch Office Space.
You had a case of the Mondays?
I did watch Office Space yesterday, so y'all have the case of the Mondays.
Your educational, your education continues.
I had seen it. It's just it'd been a long time.
It's a great movie. Have
And
you ever
when
had
I
a
saw it
case?
on Hulu,
Have you
I
ever had a
decided-
case of the Mondays on a Tuesday?
Yes.
After
the
a 3-day
time.
weekend.
Yeah, it's when you don't. Yeah, after the 3-day weekend, and that's when Tuesday is Monday. That's the only day of the week that Tuesday's special. Thursday is the start of the weekend for most people. College students, of course, at the top of the list. You got, NFL football on Thursday nights. Friday is Friday. You don't need any explanation for Friday. Tuesday's like, it's like the dog the cute dog that keeps getting passed over at the kennel. I feel bad for Tuesday today.
About Tuesday.
I feel sad for Tuesday today. Maybe I overdid it with that comparison, but I feel sad for Tuesday.
To lead you into a read today, it's Taco Tuesday. It's $1 tacos at Joe's Grill and Cantina. That's a great day.
Well, there you go.
Come on, let's not talk bad about
Taco Tuesday!
Exactly. There's plenty of good things on
Are
Tuesday.
you serious about the guy? Is this going to be the earliest commercial read in halftime history?
Well, I
2
mean, I
minutes
had
into the
to
You
think
said
of something
to lead you into it. Yeah.
Exactly. I had to figure out a way to defend Tuesday's honor, and what better way than Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina?
All right. I mean, I didn't realize I was going to be doing this so early in the show instead of doing the sports thing first. I complained about the day of the week, and that leads me to our first live read. So here it is. It's Taco Tuesday, right? Well, it's lunchtime already for most of you people, or at least you're thinking about lunch within the next hour or so. So it is Taco Tuesday, just like LeBron and Mr. Show Planner over here said too. $1 crispy tacos, beef or chicken all day long. Pork carnita, brisket tacos, also cheap all day long. $2.25 for the pork carnita tacos, $3.25 for the brisket and pork belly tacos. That's right. You can even... Well, this is the Weird Al version, right? Okay.
Oh, correct. Yeah. The superior version.
I thought you might have done the Rico Suave thing. So that's at Joe's Grilling Cantina. They'll have live music tonight on the patio, and it's also a great place to watch the Razorback game on Saturday. They always have the games on. And they're in Fort Smith across from the Harps, and that was our first live read 2 minutes into the show. A little bit different than usual.
We're getting business taken care of early today.
That's right.
Knocking it out.
Makes the rest of the show a heck of a lot easier and less pressure on us. We've got Danny West coming up, bottom of this hour, and Nate Olson to get into the high school football playoffs in hour number 2. You want to be part of the show? You can do it. 877
You can do it.
6963 for the calls and texts. Let's see. All right, so I got a question for you, for everybody out here.
Okay.
Because we have... There's certain every time you're playing an SEC opponent, certainly one that you don't like. And do you like any of the other SEC?
No,
teams?
you don't.
No, you don't. It's always a hate week, right?
Of course.
LSU hate week, Texas A&M hate week. There's lots of reasons to feel that hatred for those two, programs. If you want to feel it, Mississippi, same thing. Mississippi State, same thing. I feel it's a little bit different when it comes to Alabama. I know Ty played a song from a Tennessee fan on the Morning Rush yesterday.
It's a great song.
Which was really just about Alabama Hate Week. But, I mean, we got to be honest about what you're feeling here during the week that you're going into playing Alabama. And it's different than hate. It's envy week is what it is. I mean, this is the program that everybody wants to strive to become. This is what you measure yourself up against is unfair as that could be, because this is perhaps one of the most dominant runs in college football history. So it's different. Like jealousy or envy, these are two different things, envy and jealousy, but they're, hate is a whole lot different than that.
Hand in hand, right? I mean, they're a little bit different, but you can kind of use either or to describe how most of college football feels about Alabama. You are jealous of what they have, and you envy what they have. You want what they have.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you envy what they have. You envy that they reload every year. You envy the fact that it's interesting. You watch the press conferences on Monday for the coaches, and then for some of the players. The Alabama players went on yesterday. The Arkansas players get today, and there's really not a lot of talk about the upcoming opponent. At least not this week. Coach Saban had some very nice things to say about Sam Pittman and about turning the program around, maybe more so than any other program that they've played this year. But that was, all about it that he got about Arkansas. It was more about his team, was more about the injuries and all of that stuff.
Which, by the way, did you hear him go kind of off on the reporter who asked him the question, which I know most people are attacking the reporter, saying that's a stupid question.
What was this, from the post game on Saturday?
Yeah, about the first quarter problems.
Right, because they had to punt and allowed a field goal.
And
right?
I'm going to defend the reporter here, because Nick Saban, week in and week out, regardless of whether they win by 20, 30, 40, 50, always comes out and says, I'm not going to allow y'all to keep feeding rat poison to my players and to my fan base, talking about, y'all are saying that they're great. You're putting them up on a pedestal. But from what I saw one good quarter. I saw 4 good plays. Heck, this team wouldn't stand a chance in a national championship. But you're gonna go ahead and crown them right now. You're feeding them rat poison. You can't come out week in and week out and talk about how it's the media's fault for putting them on a pedestal, and then you tear them down by talking about all the negative things they did. And then one reporter is like, you know what? I'm going to flip the script on you. I'm going to see how you respond when I don't praise your team, when I point out the minute mistakes that you always point out. If that reporter hadn't said that, Saban would have finished the post game going, but we let them kick a field goal in the first quarter. It wasn't a perfect quarter. We haven't played a perfect game since, and I'm tired of y'all saying that we're perfect. He would have said that. He flips the script on Saban, and Saban, of course, goes, you're trying to get me to say something negative about my team. I'm not going to do it. So quit asking.
I'm not going to do it.
Exactly, but you do it unasked, bro. You don't get to flip it.
There's obviously such a major difference between September Saban and November Saban. Like he's – Maybe as you worry about playing a linebacker a little too long over the course of a season. He's worn out now. He's worn out. He's already done 11 games. He's worn out. He's been out there for so and so amount of snaps. Maybe Nick Saban is just a little tiny bit worn down about being mad, when it's a lot easier to get all fired up about those kind of things in September.
I mean, it drives me insane. It's just one of those, really, because every time they praise you, they're feeding your team rat poison. But as soon as they have one negative thing to say or ask you about something negative that you're ultimately going to say, Saban's going to find the negatives. He's going to point them out. Honestly, that's what makes him a good coach, is because he doesn't dwell on the good things, because he's constantly trying to work towards perfection. He's constantly trying to get his players to think in the same mindset of not what did I do good today, what could I have done better, right? That's a great mentality to have, not just in sports, but in life in general, right? So you can't constantly have that attitude, and then as soon as somebody gives you the opportunity to have that attitude without being prompted, you can't say, well, I'm just never going to – you're not going to get me to say anything bad about my players. Like, come on, bro. You do it by yourself.
Well, I mean, I also think one reason why he answered it the way he answered it is probably the reporter that asked the question. Sounded a little youngish. I don't know if he was a student reporter or not. But later on in the show, we've got Get Off My Lawn. There is I would say professional journalist.
I will not defend that guy.
From Horns Illustrated that asked. It's not even a question, man. It was a freaking novel that he recited to Steve Sarkisian.
I thought Steve Sarkisian might have exited out of his presser Zoom and into a philosophy class Zoom. That's the way it felt to me. I'm just like, who the heck does this guy think he is, trying to basically preach and talk about these ultimate challenges. I don't want to ruin it, but because we're going to get to it later in the show.
I would have paid money if you could have
I was like, what is he doing?
Drew, if we could have transported Nick Saban to that podium as the Texas head coach for that very moment and put him in Steve Sarkisian's body, I would have loved to see the answer that Saban would have given that guy. Because Sarkisian, actually answered his ridiculous question like it was legit.
Yeah.
Saban wouldn't have treated it that way. He would have given him rat poison in return.
Saban, I know it's not a bottle, but would have said, you have just good enough chance of getting an answer out of this Coke can as you do out of me.
Maybe open up on the inside. There might be something on the inside there for you. Who knows? You never know what's inside those cans. 877-377-6963. So I guess this is for BE. We're playing Lionel Richie in the background. BE texted all night long earlier, so yeah. Hey, by the way, Grant Morgan is one of the 3 finalists for the Burlsworth Award, second year in a row. That came out earlier this morning. And Cody Kennedy is a Broyles Award nominee. We've got close to 60 of those nominees.
Let's rack them up.
So we'll get into that next, and a little bit of basketball across the SEC. A couple of Tigers that Arkansas plays a total of 4 times. Well, either lost to a team within their own school system or trailed at halftime. And halftime back after this.
It's good, wild and sweet. Let the music play on, play on, play on. Feel it in your heart and feel it in your soul. Let the music take control. We're going to party, climbing, fiesta, forever. Come on and sing my song all night long. Oh, all night long.
Make sure you tune in to Hog Reaction after every Razorback football game.
Sent Time message the other day, that after game thing you did, man, that was old school type radio, and I thought it was great. Keep up the good work, fellas.
He's got Burks at the 20, complete, trailing inside the 10. Burks is at the goal line. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. Presented by Game Day Lodge.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Wherever work takes you, we've got you. The BF Goodrich Trademan Support Program. Get a $70 rewards card after online submission with the purchase of 4 new BF Goodrich passenger or light truck tires. You also get a $60 satisfaction guarantee and 24-hour worksite or roadside assistance. Southern Tire Mart just off of I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. BF Goodrich Tires and best-in-class service. See bfgoodrichtires.com/tradesman for complete details. Offer expires 12/31/2021. Void where prohibited.
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith is a place to be if you're looking for quality, certified, pre-owned vehicles. And when we're talking trucks, we're talking Randall Ford. Whether you're wanting one that's one of the Leadfoot Grays, we have those. Raptors, oh yeah, we have those. If you're looking for the Venom R, they're built specially for Randall Ford. I have a gorgeous lifted Venom R sitting right here by me. So come by and check out all the trucks, all the selection today at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith at Randall Ford.
Wake up your happy at Hardee's with the new $3 French toast dips. Wait, what? French toast dips sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Oh
my gourd, folks. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. This month, I want to say thanks. So I'm on a mission to make car buying easy as pie and help you snag a sweet deal on one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. This month, you could drive a nicer, newer car and save up to $4,150. That's a lot of dough. So if your old ride is flaky, crusty, burnt, or rusty, don't let it squash your happiness. Trade it for a nicer, newer car now, even if you still owe money, and save up to $4,150. Plus, my For the People approval process makes financing your nicer, newer car easy as pie. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Deals this delicious won't last long, so visit us today at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Roar!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
We got a text in here out of Philip in Missouri.
Philip,
who gives, and this is the real Philip. Okay, this is a guy with one L in his name, just like me. We are the minority.
Phillips.
We are the minorities of the Phillips. When you got just the one L. He's in Missouri. He texts us with a hashtag on the text. Thought hashtags were just for Twitter. And for
they can be for anything.
This text is going to be trending.
This is a Razorback fan who lives in Missouri. Hashtag beat the Tigers this year, please. You should have capitalized the word please, because if you live in Missouri and 5 years in a row have lost to him, it should not happen this year. But first things first, that's Alabama Envy Week, and that's exactly what Philip thinks it is too. He says Alabama is definitely a program people are jealous of more so than hate. People complain about Bama always being in the national championship picture. Easiest way to fix that, beat them. I don't know if you could say easiest way to beat that because they just don't lose enough for that to ever get fixed.
Well, I feel like you're kind of talking for the whole state here, and that it's more of an envy week than a hate week, which makes me feel more comfortable talking about this because I was really, really concerned in how well this information was going to be received this week. But I have a confession.
Oh, boy. Are you one of these people that roots for the Crimson Tide?
Not me, but the missus is. Her parents are Alabama alumni, and
well, I mean,
they have sent me some stuff already this week about Arkansas hate. Apparently, they like to give Arkansas a hard time.
It's different when you're a program like Alabama. They can't use the word hate because all they do is they look down at everybody else and point at them and laugh.
Although, I mean, I have different. At least 2 text messages already this week from the missus with basically the same thing as hashtag Arkansas Hate Week or hashtag Hog Hate Week.
She's got it seems to me, Drew, she has real reason to maybe be an Alabama fan if both of her parents are alumni from the
they
school.
also met there.
So you know, like one of these bandwagoners that's just like, I've been a Crimson Tide fan since 2007. Yeah.
Oh no, I made sure before even a first date that got brought up, and she said she grew up an Alabama fan. I said, define grew up, because I don't want to hear, I was 10 and blah blah blah. Bama got really good and I just really liked them. Like I want to hear, no, there better be like generations here. Of Alabama stuff.
It's one of those, on everybody's social media bios, right? You'll put your favorite teams there, and it's just so funny, Drew. You got to hit these shots when you're throwing away your water.
That was terrible.
It was bad.
Very bad.
There wasn't even a defender.
So you get these people that say, diehard fan of Duke basketball, New York Yankees, Golden State Warriors, and Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yes.
And you're like, you are a lot of fun to sit around and watch television with, my man. A lot of fun.
Oh, I hate the bandwagon Bama fans. They are the worst. Okay, so it's envy Bama, the program. It's hate bandwagon Bama fans week, though.
There you go. That's a better way to put it.
That's a pretty long hashtag, though. We're going to have to figure out a way to
break it
dent
into
it
two.
down. Yes.
Break it into 2 hashtags. And make sure you throw in the one that Maddie always uses, which is hashtag.
Mm-hmm. Hashtag Bama bandwagon, #hate week.
Jody calls it measurement week, not hate or envious week for him. I think you might want
that.
I understand what he's saying here. There's probably an extra word you need to throw in there aside from measurement week, because you can measure a lot of things, man. But I get what you're saying. You want to measure yourself up against the best in the country. Maybe Alabama is or isn't the best of the country this year, but for the last X number of years, they've been the best program in the country, and it hasn't even been close. When you see like how far Clemson has fallen this year and realize that has not happened for Alabama since the first year of Nick Saban's tenure there. You are measurement week. So let's look at these measurements. Losing in the last 6 years by point totals of 13, 19, 32, 34, 41, and 49 points. Each of these years, the measurement between Arkansas and Alabama growing larger and larger and larger. I mean, this hasn't just been a 14-game losing streak, Drew. They've had their brains beaten out. Arkansas has had their brains beaten out most often by Alabama. And that's what I don't expect to happen this Saturday in Tuscaloosa.
No, nobody expects that trend of losing by more and more, or Bama winning by more and more to continue to grow. I mean, obviously, just look at the line that Vegas has put out. The Hogs are early plus 21.5 in Tuscaloosa this week against Alabama. Nobody expects Arkansas to go out there and lose by 50. I don't think anybody expects them to lose by 40.
No,
I don't think anybody expects them to lose by 30.
The problem
I think
is,
you get around that 14-21 mark. I think that's a little bit more realistic.
How many of us expected to lose to Georgia by 37-0?
That was a different time. That was a month ago. We were riding a different
month ago, man. That was 6 weeks. And they were 4-0 at that moment, and a physical team that talked about playing physically against Georgia, and it just did not work out well. And Arkansas, absorbed some bruises that lasted a few weeks. Alabama, look, they're not Georgia this year. Nobody is. But the kind of athlete that Alabama has is the same kind of athlete that Georgia has, and that goes for their ones and their twos.
That is true,
and many of their threes as well. So, that's the major difference. And look, that's not where Arkansas is right now. If you want to measure up, I mean, the twos and the threes are certainly not on the same level as the twos and the threes for Alabama. And how many Razorbacks would be able to start for Alabama this year? There's maybe a couple,
maybe 2 or 3,
maybe a couple of them, and so it's like,
I mean, flip the coin. I mean, how many of the 22 starters that Bama's going to see would start at Arkansas? Pretty much all 22.
That's where the envy comes in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like you can measure yourself against the program by the final score on the scoreboard, of course, and that's how you measure yourself in football.
I mean, that's ultimately why we keep score. Right? Yes.
But there's also, there's a ways to go. There is a ways to go, and there's this, there are these certain categories of programs in the SEC of which, Georgia's up there with Alabama now. Alabama's 1A and Georgia is like not quite 1B, and then there's everybody else there, and you're trying to get up to the, near the top of that second echelon of the SEC, where LSU is kind of falling out now, and A&M is up there, and Mississippi is up there, and Arkansas's kind of been hanging right behind them. So it's, there is envy when you look up to the top of the SEC, and you're like, well, these are the programs that year in, year out are told, or we are told, they're competing for the national championship.
And we're not.
And you're not. That's right. Does that change after this year? I don't know. Probably not.
I was about to say, that's a really short timetable
right.
to put on Sam Pittman to be like, all right, yeah, you overachieved in year 1. You overachieved in year 2. Better win a national championship next year, Mr. Pittman. Like that's a little much or even just to say to compete at that level. But as long as you continue to climb the ladder, I don't think anybody will be mad about it, right? That's all you want to see is the progress continually get better, because as we all know, the old saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. And guess what? Neither were college football programs.
Yeah. Fayetteville wasn't built in a day either.
It was not.
It can be torn down in a day.
It probably
can't be built in a day. All right, we're going to step aside, and Danny West from hogsports.com, is joining us next. So we'll get into some recruiting stuff with the Razorbacks and some thoughts of Danny's about this Arkansas-Alabama game that's after the break on Halftime. Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
This year's Value Bonanza sales event at Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bama County, Northwest Arkansas gives you more ways to save. Save big with 0% financing and cashback offers on select New Holland tractors, hay, and forage products, and materials handling equipment. These offers end December 31st, so make the trip to Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas today. You get more choices and more savings when you buy during Value Bonanza. For commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required.
The 86th Annual World Championship Duck Calling Contest and Wings Over the Prairie Festival is November 26th and 27th, Thanksgiving weekend in downtown Stuttgart, Arkansas. We'll have children's duck calling classes, hot air balloons, exhibitor tents, 5 and 10K great duck races, a beer garden, and the Michelob Ultra Duck Gumbo Cook-Off, the Wings Over Prairie Festival, Thanksgiving weekend in Stuttgart. For more information and a full schedule of events, visit stuttgartarkansas.org or call 870-673-1602.
The most wonderful time of the year for the deer hunter is now. Get ready at Jelco Outdoors and bag a wall hanger this year. Orange vest and caps, camo hoodie.
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are... Roar!
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen. Pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Welcome back to Halftime here on this Tuesday, the day that we still have no way to describe it. Other than this is the day we get Danny West.
Tuesday.
It's Danny West Day.
And Danny West Day.
Yeah,
Danny
West
and more
Day.
importantly, it's Danny West Day.
Works for me. Danny, we had no reason to celebrate Tuesdays. And then I had no reason. Then Drew gave me one Taco Tuesday as one reason to celebrate, and it's Danny West Day. So thank you for making Tuesday a very good day. Danny, how are you?
I'm glad I could help out. I appreciate you fellas. How's it going today?
Dude, we're great.
Oh, it's going well.
We're great.
Good.
It's Alabama Envy Week. I'm changing the term from Alabama Hate Week because, look, you can hate them, but it's truly envy more than anything else. And I think that describes this week well, don't you?
Yeah, I think I could agree with that. I'm sure a lot of people still hate them, just based on the Bear Bryant aspect of it, being from Arkansas and being the one that got away in a major way. So I think there is some hate, but sure, envy's probably a better word for it. I mean, how can you not be jealous of what they've got going on? Just the longevity of this, Phil, this dynasty that they've got going on is just wildly impressive to me. Ever since 2008, really, they get everybody's best shot, and somehow they're still on top after all these years. Maybe Georgia knocks them off this year.
Well, I mean, Danny, there's really only one other program in these last 10, 11 years that has come close to the level of success that Alabama has, and that's Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
But they've taken a pretty deep step down this season. Look, it hasn't been a bad year for Clemson. They're still probably end up in a bowl game anyway. But, year in, year out, Clemson has been expected to compete for the national championship, and they have for the most part. And, maybe Alabama goes to the playoff. Maybe they don't. If they lose to if they make it to Atlanta and lose to Georgia, they probably don't get there. But you wouldn't say – I guess you would say it's a down year for Alabama if they're not in the playoff, and that's how you can kind of make that comparison. There's only so many programs you could say that about.
That's true. I mean, you think about everybody's been susceptible to it. You mentioned Clemson having a down year. We've seen Ohio State take a step back a couple of times. Oregon, hit or miss. When they're really good, they're really good. But they can be down too. Florida State, we saw what happened to them. LSU, they'll go win a championship, and then they may not be back for another 5 to 7 years, So it's I think that's probably what impresses me the most, that when Alabama has a bad year, they might have 2 losses. It's just crazy to me. But, I think about it, Phil, it wasn't that long ago, buddy, when I was growing up, between, mid-'90s, early 2000s, when I really started paying attention to the Razorbacks. Arkansas went on a run there. They won 7 out of 12 games against Alabama. I believe that was between 95 and 2006. So, nowadays when you lose to Alabama, there's almost a sense of, well, they do that to everybody, so it really doesn't count, or let's just get out of there healthy. But it wasn't that long ago when Arkansas would get up for this game and really have a pretty decent shot of winning it every year. So it's crazy to see how things have turned now. I think it's 14 straight, maybe 15 straight against Arkansas.
Well, if they've got any chance in this one this year against this version of Alabama, and really against any of the last, 5 or 6 versions, the secondary has got to come up big, and that's for every team Alabama plays because, just like always, they have a great quarterback, they have a great set of receivers, And if you can't get to Bryce Young, which he's a little shifty back there, that line has been leaky, though, so maybe you can get to him. But I think the Arkansas secondary has made some improvements. I know you went back, you tweeted about this, you went back and rewatched the LSU game and were specifically impressed with watching Monteric Brown. Of course, made that great interception in the end zone in overtime. Where have you seen his improvements mostly?
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing that helps Arkansas secondary the last couple of weeks, they've been getting a little more pressure very quietly. I think they had 3 sacks again. They're getting to the quarterback a little bit better. I'm not saying they're a great pass rushing team, but I think that does wonders for a secondary. They put Monteric and some of those guys on an island the other day and just kind of put it on them and said, hey, we're going to try to rush the quarterback this week. You've got a cover back here. And Monteric stood up and stood tall and did it. He had that pick, of course, that everybody's going to remember forever, but he also had a couple of PBUs that I thought were at crucial points of the game there. So, like I said in the tweet, I think he made himself some money. Now, Monteric could come back next year. You know, he could be a super senior, but I would anticipate him getting out of here and trying to go make some money. And if so, hey, I'm all for it. He's been here for a long time. He's made a lot of really good plays, and he's actually the first Razorback since Tremaine Thomas in 2011, I believe, to go over 3 interceptions. No Razorback has had more than 3 in a year. Monteric's got 4 now on the year with 3 more games to play, so a really good season for him. But, you bring up a good point there. It's going to be a tough task for Arkansas. I mean, we're sitting here talking about Alabama's taking a step back a little bit this year, and you look up and they're still top 10 total offense, top 5 total defense, top 15 turnover margin, and they're number 1 in the country on converting third downs. Good luck, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely good luck. And on the other side of the ball for Arkansas, one of the biggest progressions that we've seen this year has been obviously in KJ Jefferson. What has been your favorite part of his game that has evolved and gotten better? Is it his accuracy? Is it his arm? Is it his elusiveness? I mean, what is it about KJ that you've really enjoyed watching get better game in and game out?
Yeah, I think it's probably something that we can't even quantify, to be honest with you. It's that ability to, when they've got to have something, he puts them on their back. You know, he's shown that time and time again. He started third quarter with it the other day. I still think it was a pass play at one point, and I think he put it on himself. He said, no way I'm throwing this. I'm going to take off. I'm going to get the first down, get the drill going, and let's get some points on the board. So it's that kind of swag that they talk about. You know, he's got that moxie about him. Super tough, obviously. You try to tackle the guy. Good luck to you. But, his toughness, and then you mentioned his accuracy there. I mean, he's sitting at 65% right now. And over the course of the year, early in the year you hear complaints about, well, he can't throw the short stuff. Where's the crossing patterns? He's throwing them 10 feet over people, can't hit a slant. Well, he's doing all those things right now. So a 17-3 touchdown interception ratio, a rating of 161. Are you kidding? That's about as good as it's going to get in the SEC.
Mm-hmm. As far as recruiting goes, obviously Arkansas beat LSU last week, gets the boot, second trophy out of 3, looking to complete the trifecta with the 3 trophy games for Arkansas. How big of an impact does it have, in recruiting to have those 3 trophies in the case? I mean, to take those pictures with, to have something that you can physically point at for recruits. How big of an impact do you think those trophies actually make when kids get on campus?
Yeah, I think it gives you something else, one more thing to brag about, right? I'm not sure if a kid is ever going to make a decision based on those things. Mm-hmm. You would almost hope not, right? You hope there's more to it than that. But, a perfect example of this, they go down to LSU and win that game. And yesterday they offer a kid in Baton Rouge for the 2023 class, a 4-star cornerback, Jordan Matthews. And I'm sitting here looking at a quote from him that he gave me last night. He said, Arkansas is a great school. It's not far at all. The DB coach, meaning Sam Carter, is really cool, and I felt like I can connect with him. And I can tell with the win over LSU Saturday that they're playing with a lot of swag. So, there you have it.
Yeah.
That's a 4-star kid that obviously took note of the win. And I'm not saying Arkansas is going to get the kid, but they're aware. Trust me. And I think it's smart of Arkansas. We saw it after the A&M game. Same deal in Arlington. A couple days after that game, a lot of new offers go out in Texas. I don't think that's a coincidence. You try to capitalize on that stuff.
Do you think the Arkansas secondary is going to be a strength of this team in the next year? When you talk defensively, I don't know what they'll get out of the defensive line next season. I have no idea what's going to happen with linebacking, other than you're losing at the very least your 2 best linebackers and maybe all 3 of them. Secondary looks like it could be a strength, though.
It does. Miles Slusher has a lot to do with that. What a play he made the other night. We can't forget about him. But I'll tell you, one of the biggest keys, we talk about potential super seniors coming back next year. Joe Fouché is playing some really good football. And I think I'm not sure where he's going to end up in terms of potential draft prospects or anything like that. But, boy, if you could get him back for a 6th year, I think he's got 55 tackles on the year. He just plays 100 miles an hour. But, the corner spot, I think you probably need some help. Wouldn't surprise me even, I haven't heard this. But, if there's a corner in the transfer portal that could come in and potentially start right away, why not? But I think you do bring up a good point there with Malik Chavis. I think he's had some he's been a little bit up and down, but he's had some good plays. Miles Slusher we talked about, and then, of course, the freshman, Jaden Johnson, being thrown out there as a young guy. He's played a lot of football this year, so there's a lot to build around there. Greg Brooks as well would be back next year.
Danny, talk about people coming back and, possible things you can get in the transfer portal. Unfortunately, we all know the transfer portal it's a two-way street. How many people do you kind of estimate, do you think Arkansas will lose to the portal this year? And do you think that could possibly be some names that fans would be taken aback by?
Yeah, it's tough to project that, but I would always assume a handful anyway, whether they're ticked off about playing time or, whatever the case may be, have a girlfriend that moves across the country, who knows? There's probably going to be some, right? That's just the nature of it in this day and age. So I think you would probably count on at least, a few. And then based on that final number, now you can turn around and go get some back from the transfer portal, and that's what I'd be most interested in. And, what positions do you address? As Phil spoke about there, I mean, linebacker, you've got to have some help. You hope to get Bumper back next year, but what if he did turn pro? I mean, now you're in a really tight spot there, buddy. So linebacker, defensive line, obviously you're probably going to lose several there. So there's a lot to deal with. I don't envy Arkansas's coaching staff after the season trying to put all those pieces back together again.
Folks, Danny, of course, works at hogsports.com, part of the 247sports.com website network. And one of the things you guys have on your site is a very active set of message boards. Do you read everything on the message boards?
Oh, everything? I'd be lying if I said I do. We have a notification bell that notifies me if somebody tags me with a specific question, and I try to answer all those, obviously. But that message board is pretty active, Phil, so a lot of it scrolls through without me ever laying eyes on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not all of it. Not all of it has to do with sports or the Razorbacks either. I was just perusing the site earlier this morning. I click on the boards. I'm not active on them, but I'll glance at them every once in a while. And I saw a post from somebody who said that they're down in the creek bottoms, far away from medical help, and they had a ladybug just fly in her ear, or his ear, I don't know. And all he has with him is a 300 Win Mag knife and an ice chest full of beer. And I kind of wondered to myself if this is just a joke, but it hit me. This is probably where this person went for help at that moment.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of strange ones throughout the years, but, I'm hoping that guy's okay. I'm not sure if you guys have ever dealt with anything like that. I haven't personally, but I know people that have had stuff in their ear, and they say it is extremely painful. So hopefully that guy has figured it out down in the boonies there.
See?
Well, I hope he didn't use the knife to try to stab the butterfly.
No. And
I was hoping that's not the outcome he tried to use. Maybe use the beer to drown it.
I would go with the beer. I would pour some beer in the ear and maybe tilt it and see what I could do. And if that didn't work, now you got to drink all the beer. So
exactly.
Whatever you did,
he'll get it done.
Whatever you did, I hope he didn't go the Van Gogh route. That's let one person set the example for everybody else. All right,
That's
Danny,
correct.
we'll leave it there. Appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Okay, brother. See y'all.
You got it. Danny
Thanks,
West, 24/7 Sports Network. Yeah, by the way, go watch the Billie Jean King Bugbusters scene from Fletch Lives, and I'm thinking exactly that when I see a story about a ladybug flying in someone's ear. I don't know if that's something Ozark Orthopedic can help with, but they can help with any kind of sports injuries. Their sports medicine experts help athletes of all ages and skill levels get back to the activities that they love safely and pain-free. So if your injury happens before, during, or after the game, the team of orthopedic specialists at Ozark Orthopedic can help you, and they'll provide you with the most comprehensive and advanced care available. Ozark-ortho.com. The phone number is 479-521-2752, and you can schedule an appointment with Ozark Orthopedics today. Not Billie Jean King Bugbusters. Halftime, wrapping up the first hour next.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
If you needed major surgery, you probably wouldn't choose a doctor who's never been to medical school. So when your car needs major repairs after a collision, why would you take your car to a body shop that's never been trained? Evans Body Shop is among only 10% of collision repair businesses to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold class shop. We know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and how to repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. With the safety of your vehicle and your family at stake, choose trained repair professionals. Choose Evans Body Shop.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Stopped up kitchen sink, a slow draining shower, toilets that won't flush. All of these can be a nightmare. This is Emily with Mr. Reuter Plumbing in Fort Smith. Did you know that our staff does video camera inspection? This ensures that these headaches are fixed, giving you peace of mind. When you need plumbing, call Mr. Reuter in Fort Smith or book online at mrreuter.com. We're your neighborly company.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, SpaceOAR Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of SpaceOAR, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
Whole Hog Cafe on Phoenix Avenue is now open 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Whole Hog Cafe has party packs for your watch party, tailgate party, business meetings, or lunch and dinner for the family. You will see a few new items on the menu to go along with the award-winning barbecue and sides. Whole Hog Cafe, Phoenix Avenue, offers online ordering at wholehogfortsmith.com, along with curbside and delivery service. Or come see us 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Follow Whole Hog Cafe on Facebook and Instagram for specials.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. B-Dubs, wings, beer, sports.
You look like an angel.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, Hog Reaction, Coffee with Counsel, Huddle Up, and Fantasy Football Sunday. All available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, hitthatline.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center.
Stupid weather apps. You know, these weather apps are really stupid. They're frustrating.
Oh, 100%.
Incredibly frustrating.
They're all terrible.
They have a prediction. They have a prediction of 69-degree temperature high in Fayetteville today, where I live and I'm doing the show from.
Didn't it snow there yesterday?
I don't know if it snowed, but it was wet when I got
Mr.
out
Richardson
there in the
was
morning.
trying to tell me this morning on the Morning Rush. He said it snowed.
Was he up there?
I mean, I don't think he physically saw it with his own eyes. He could have seen it on a screen somewhere.
There are days that if Ty told me that it's snowing outside, I'm going to put on sunscreen and shorts and flip-flops and be ready to go swimming. So I don't necessarily trust what he's going to say all the time. It was wet when I walked outside this morning. But it felt nice. It was in the 60s. So if it snowed last night, I'd be really surprised. But it's 73 degrees, according to the weather app, on a day where the same app said it wasn't going to get any warmer than 69. Stupid weather app.
It's not just the apps. I mean, the weather, and nothing against the very nice, fine weather people. I'm sure they do their best job, the best job that they can. But their accuracy rate's not all that great.
I mean, come on. There have been days during the baseball season where I am addicted to the weather app because that's what you are when
you got to check the radar.
Baseball. But there are days where it says 100% chance of rain, 100% chance of rain from 3 until 8, and it doesn't rain from 3 until 8. It'd be like, I would have accepted this if you'd have put a 99%. So then there's like 1% chance it doesn't rain.
Just be able to back your way out of it.
Stupid weather app.
See, I would, even if I was 100% sure it would rain, if I was a meteorologist, I would put nothing above 80. Because, I mean, when you see anything above like 60, that's when you're like, okay, it's going to rain regardless, right? Like, you don't put like it's 60% chance of rain and it doesn't rain. Like, you kind of feel like it's going to. So, even if I was 100%, I would max out at 80.
I really don't think it snowed last night, Drew.
I mean, Derek in Fayetteville said it didn't. He said it was in the 50s last night.
It
was like 52 here in the River Valley when I woke up. So,
you know how I know it didn't snow last night in Fayetteville? Kids are at school today. That's how I know.
And there's milk and bread at the grocery store.
Exactly. And eggs.
I've never understood the milk and bread grab. Why is you go to the milk and bread aisle, there's nothing there. But you go to the things that you can actually eat and use if the power goes out, like canned foods, non-perishable items, and you have your pick of the litter. Nobody ever goes after the canned foods or the things that you might actually need if you lose power and you don't have electricity. Because let me tell you something. Milk's not going to stay forever. And I know it's cold in your house without the electricity, but still. Buy up to canned food stuff, people. Let's if you're actually worried about being snowed in and without nourishment, bread and milk's not the way to go.
Milk is important because, I mean, what else am I going to put in my Cinnamon Toast Crunch and coffee in the morning? That's pretty much it. Drew, did I also hear this morning on the Morning Rush? Well, let me put it this way. I'll say a little statement, okay?
Okay.
I pray to the weather god, the baseball weather gods who affect the weather 12 months out of the year.
All hail the weather gods, yes, of course.
That it snows where you live more than once during the winter time.
I hate cold weather, Phil. I hate it. I hate snow. Now, if I'm like at Colorado or I'm like going like snow skiing or snowboarding or something like that,
how do you hate
sure.
How do you hate? I've never been snow skiing before. I do not mind the snow. How have you been snow skiing and you hate it?
I hate snow where there isn't supposed to be snow, right? If I'm on a mountain, sure, give me all the snow you got. If I'm going skiing, let's hit the dang slopes, you know?
So it interferes with your life.
Exactly. When especially working in radio, You all know this. We don't get snow days. We don't get to just stay home.
Yeah,
somebody has to be on air, so we have to continue to do our jobs. So therefore, while everybody else is like, oh my gosh, snow day, yay, we get to work from home, or we don't even have to work at all. We can stay in, cuddle up on the couch, and not have to worry about life. And the reason why kids and most adults love snow days, the reason why I hate it is because I actually have to go out in it. I have to drive. When snow apocalypse hit last year, I was the only person I knew that had to go to work every day for the week of snow apocalypse, and had to drive the normal 20-minute commute that then took me an hour and 10.
Well, you're obviously in the wrong industry. You should be a kindergarten teacher like the missus.
I should be.
No, those days off.
I can't, Phil. I cannot put up with 5-year-olds.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my kids in your kindergarten class either.
Right? I don't think anybody that's met me, if I told them I was a kindergarten teacher, they'd be like, you know what? I really hope my kids are in your class.
So we have 2 listeners who've texted in about the milk sandwich, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing you have to go with there.
Mm-hmm.
And the toilet paper is for after that. 2 other people saying, hey, it was in the mid-50s last night. It did
I was about
not
to
snow.
say, it was mid-50s here.
Where did Ty get the thought that it
I don't
snowed?
know, but that's kind of what he opened the show with. Go back. I don't know
That's
if
what
it's
he
on the podcast.
started.
Go back and look onto YouTube. He brought up the fact that it snowed, and which then led into me and what we're talking about right now, talking about how I hate snow. More importantly, it's not really snow I hate ice.
Attention, Tommy Kraft, putting out an all-points bulletin. Tommy Kraft, who was not on the morning rush today. We need you back in the studio ASAP so that Ty stops trying to be a weatherman and confuse everybody, including his own co-host in the morning, Drew, who
quite
apparently
confused.
thought it was snowing when it was 50 degrees out here.
I mean, if somebody tells me, hey, do you know it snowed in Fayetteville? I didn't, but that's kind of crazy since it's November. I guess I'm a trustworthy person, and I'm a little naive when it comes to Mr. Richardson's
That's the first thing you got to cut out. You cut out the Mr. part, and then you start to look at the guy a little skeptically, like everybody does. And now I'm looking at him even more skeptically than a milk sandwich. 877-377-6963. We'll have a Get Off My Lawn next.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half-price. And all beers on tap are half-price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
The Peter Pender Zone of Wave Rural Connect is open. That fiber internet, phone, and TV service you've been hearing so much about is now available for areas south of the Arkansas River, to Coxville, to east of Cecil, and over to Roseville, with amazingly fast internet starting at $49.95 a month. Call 1-833-4WAVE-RC or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com to get signed up. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities that we serve.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you're a fence builder or have building experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits, plus a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon in the low to mid 70s with winds 15 to near 30 miles per hour. Clear to partly cloudy, upper 50s tonight. Sunny sky on Wednesday with a chance of some showers and thunderstorms across the north. Temperatures in the upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hi, and welcome back into the second half of your fabulous, wonderful, beautiful Tuesday, your Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. It is
Tuesday where it's not snowing.
It hasn't snowed anywhere near where we are located right now. It isn't going to snow anytime soon. The next time that you're listening to our fine morning radio program, The Morning Rush, and Ty Richardson says anything about the weather, just plan for the opposite. If you knew that was the case,
if I would have known, I wouldn't have played along. I actually believed him.
He could be the greatest weather person in the history of meteorologists if you just listened to him in the opposite. He's like it's like the Costanza of weathermen. That's what Ty is.
Ty told Drew it was going to be cloudy with the chance of meatballs, and Drew went outside with his mouth open and went,
I had a plate ready. I had all my Tupperware spread out so that way I could catch it all and have some meals for the next week.
Well, you know better now. It just took a little bit of time for you to figure that out.
Took me about 5 months to take everything that comes out of Ty's mouth with a grain of salt.
Just don't throw a little salt in there next time, so it might get him to stop talking a little bit. Nate Olson joins us bottom of this hour. There's some baseball stuff and a get off my lawn. Before we do that, though, Charlie in Camden has given us his daily midday phone call here right after noon. So, Charlie, it is you have the floor. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. Listen, I think you guys, listen, I think Maddie, during this segment between about 12 and 12:05, I'm just going to send you guys a picture of my big old head and face, and y'all should just put it on there to be really, really small, right up next to Drew, because, I feel like I should just have my own little, me and Eddie, when we call in, just have our own little thing, because we're dedicated.
Well, that's called, you know what that's called? That's called picking up a telephone and forcing your way onto a talk show, man. You're very good at that. Eddie is, too. Two of you could compete for that for a little bit. But I know Eddie's a bit laid up.
Win.
Eddie's laid up right now, so you have an unfair advantage.
Well, I just wanted to piggyback on a little something I said yesterday. Phil, you had talked about Chris Likes and being like basically J.D. Note. I do agree with you. I think that's going to be his role this year. What I was really worried about with him is just his discipline defensively. Musk talked about it after the game. He tends to, bite on pump fakes or, lose his man for a second or two, and then the guy relocates, drops a three in his face. I mean, he's short, so obviously people are going to shoot over the top. But, you can use that to your advantage, too. And he talked about that, just being able to use your size if you're that short to your advantage. So, and I think Chris is going to be fine offensively. I'm not worried about that. I do worry about his defense now. Also, this weekend, for us to have any chance of winning this game, I don't expect us to win. Obviously, nobody does. But, I mean, we have a chance, definitely. But, we're going to have to obviously keep the penalties under 5 is what I would think. And we don't usually do that. The pre-snap penalties have to go away.
I don't know if that's happened once this season, to be honest. I don't know if Arkansas has had less than 5 penalties or less in any game this year. That has been a big issue, and Sam Pittman hit on that a lot. And he was like, look, it's not the pass interference. I know he was upset with Trey Knox's unsportsmanlike call, even though Trey might not have necessarily deserved it. You do any barking on the opponent's sideline, chances are you may end up getting the flag. It is the false starts. It's being lined up in the neutral zone, things like that you can clean up. And I know Coach Pittman and Charlie appreciate the phone call, man. It's good to talk to you as always. Yeah, he sounded really frustrated in the press conference that I heard him yesterday, because this isn't anything that they haven't tried to address. I think it's a cliche to say, a well-coached team doesn't commit penalties, because LSU, I don't know if they've been very well coached this year, and yet they have the fewest penalties in the SEC. So it's not a matter of they're not trying to fix it. Here was Sam Pittman on the penalties.
The penalties are frustrating, very frustrating. We had a lengthy talk about that. I'm not talking about the pass interference on Mo. I'm talking about the jump off sides, which we had one, legal formation, which we had one, and certainly the flinching and the jumping off sides on the D-line, lining up in the neutral zone. So you'll know every single day we have an official there and we have a coach assigned for alignment, and it doesn't seem to be getting a whole lot better. We have to I know how we're trying to fix it, but we have to do something different because it's not getting fixed. We are trying, but it's not getting fixed. And, we've been taking them out of the game. We've been taking them out of practice, but that has to get
it has to get fixed. And you can't deal with all those penalties that Arkansas dealt with at Georgia, and you had a lot of those penalties early in the game that kind of forced you backwards in the shadow of your own end zone, so to speak. All right, going back and looking, Arkansas, fewest penalties in a game, 4. That happened against Texas, against Mississippi, and against Auburn. So 2-1 in games where you committed fewer than 5. But then there's a lot, 4 games you've had double-digit penalties. Last 3 weeks, you've been whistled for a total of, that would be 29 penalties in the last 3 weeks, even counting the UAPB game.
So what's that, an average of 9.3?
Yeah, you can't do – that's not – 9 penalties – false start penalties, the kind of stuff that's going to set you back. 1st and 15, 2nd and 13, that kind of thing. That'll be a killer for Arkansas.
Oh, it will. It's just, and it's a killer to every team. I mean, you have to be able, especially by this point of the season, you have to be able to work out those simple mistakes, those mental mistakes of not knowing the snap count, of not watching the ball on the defensive line, of getting your arms too far out and getting a holding call. Those are the things that you can fix. And when it comes to, some of the pass interference plays, okay, a lot of those can be 50-50, right? Those aren't really the plays that you truly need to focus on. It's the mental stuff. And by now, the mental stuff should be worked out.
Well, you would think it is by now. But by now, I was looking, false starts were not a problem for Arkansas during that 4-0 start. I have the notes somewhere back here somewhere, but there were maybe 1 false start per week over the 4-0 start. It has been an issue recently, and a lot of times, what's the thing that what hurt Arkansas at Georgia? It was you're pushed back inside your own 20, and they've got this 97-person throng at that stadium, and they can't hear the snap count. You're going to deal with the same thing. More people will be at the Alabama game. So if you're back in your own end zone the way they were, or close to your own end zone like Georgia, you got to be – is it a matter of being disciplined? If it's a matter of hearing or looking and see when's the ball snapped? I mean, these are difficult things to figure out sometimes. You can play the music as loud as you want inside the Fred Smith Center.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to sound the same as 107,000 people. Man, I was at that Georgia stadium. That was the loudest atmosphere I've ever experienced for a college football game. They were going nuts. The decibels, it was 113 decibels, if I'm going to believe what they put on the video board. Yeah. But there's no doubt that was a huge reason why Arkansas struggled in that game. that kind of started the downslow early.
Well, when it takes you four plays to get positive yards? Yeah, it's not going to be a very good teller of how the afternoon's going to go. You need to be able to, block that stuff out mentally and be able to, I guess, and like you said, you can prepare, you can turn it up as loud as possible, you can work with the hand signals and everything like that. But when, you're there and it's live, and the jitters are going, and the emotions are starting to run high, all that training can pretty much go out the window. That's where you've got to, at this point, you've been through that type of atmosphere. You know what to expect. So hopefully the jitters are tapped down, the emotions are lowered, and you're able to focus on the task at hand and not make those simple, minute mental mistakes.
I mean, there's the one aspect of, having 100,000 people at a stadium and trying to hear the snap count. And then the other idea that you're looking across the line of scrimmage at future NFL pass rushers.
Oh, yeah.
Like Will Anderson, Fedarian Mathis. And,
you're looking at Pro Bowlers, not just future NFLers.
Well, you're thinking, I've never played offensive line before, but, you got to be quick. You got to be really, really quick.
Got to get that first step on them.
And so sometimes that first step is a little earlier than you wanted it to really be. I mean, these are the factors that you're facing on Saturday at Bryant-Denny Stadium. All right, 877-377-6963, because we just had Charlie and Camden's segment. We'll do Get Off My Lawn next. Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the dealership that served you in the River Valley and in Northwest Arkansas for over 7 decades. Crabtree RV Center, conveniently located at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel. 17-acre, 26,000-square-foot showroom floor, and you can find the entire inventory at CrabtreeRV.com. Crabtree RV, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years and 4 generations. And Get Off My Lawn is next on Halftime.
Lay down the boogie and play that funky music till you die. Till you die. Is there one game every year where I drank a little more beer? It's over for it's over. We go there or they come here. Ever since 06, they get us every season. I wish I could say that's the only reason. I hate Alabama, I hate Crimson Red.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more, do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Atchley Air is proud to be an official sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Our service to the River Valley began in 1958, the same year that the legendary Frank Broyles took over as football coach. The Hogs have had some great coaches, but we've never had so many on campus all at once. Sam Pittman, Eric Musselman, Dave Van Horn, and Mike Neighbors, just to name a few. What an incredible team. We put together quite a team at Atchley Air, too. On game day, call the Hogs. When your AC breaks, call Atchley Air.
Cherokee Tire & More in Mansfield is ready to get your vehicle in shape for the coming winter season. Cherokee Tire & More will check your antifreeze level, flush radiators if needed, add coolant, make sure tires are ready, do oil changes, and any other services needed for your safety. Located at 700 Highway 71 north and
back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Roar!
Start every Saturday with Arkansas Game Day 5 hours before kickoff. Presented by Randall Ford and Bud Light. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
877-377-6963. You got something that you want off your lawn. Both Drew and I do have something.
We do.
And so let's get right into it on this Tuesday. Get off my lawn.
That is blasphemous. That is blasphemous. How dare you? How dare you say such a thing? That is insanity.
You're talking like a song from The Lion King. Stop that. It makes no sense.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Just when I think you've said the stupidest thing ever, you keep talking.
This is ridiculous.
I'm calling my supervisor.
You're not going to amount to jack squat.
Get off my lawn.
Drew, well done with the new intro song it. Yeah, that's definitely the kind of music you can see an old guy playing behind him. You know, he's coming out of the house on the porch screaming at the youngsters to get off the lawn.
Exactly. I mean, if we're getting off the lawn, we're raging against the machine here.
And the thing is, like, the original Rage Against the Machine fans are all old men now.
Hey, they are. So they're yelling at people to get off the lawn.
Speaking of Rage Against the Machine, did you guys see the story about the Rage Against the Machine cover band and the lead singer down in Florida?
I did not.
You got to Google that story.
Only heard what you told me during a commercial break, which I'm not sure if that's repeatable.
Yeah.
You probably could.
I mean, we could repeat it. How family friendly of a show do we want to have?
Well, I mean, there's a way to describe what she did that some of our listeners may have a sense of. Maddie's brought this band up before. She guard her fans.
Yes.
Is that about right?
Yeah. Or Gallagher'd them.
To be guard is to be a fan who gets a little soaking wet in the first few rows of a concert. Is that about right?
That sounds right, yeah.
That's putting it nicely. Okay.
Very nicely.
Okay, so we'll have to leave that one there. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how I should go about this one because the sound clip is a little bit low. But I do have.
But I hate this guy.
I have the entire thing written out here from this question, which is not even a question.
Well, let's hear it first and see if we can.
See if it's audible.
Let me just let you guys know who this is. This was yesterday during Steve Sarkisian's weekly press conference, and Horns Illustrated is the publication. Terry Middleton is the journalist. This is not a student journalist. This is a guy who's, I think, in his late 50s or early 60s who's been covering the Longhorns for a long, long time. And the only way to put this is a gushing question without any question behind it.
Good morning to you, Coach Sarkisian.
Good morning.
Coach, a couple of years ago, one of my good friends and I were faced with a massive problem we couldn't solve. And in his wisdom, he said, at this point, we need to stop and ask ourselves, what would an extraordinary person do in this situation? And this resonated with me the whole weekend. And I realized that of all the coaches who could be standing at that podium right now in those shoes, you are that extraordinary person. And you have a team of what I call coaching juggernauts. This is not only my opinion, this is a fact. I don't think anyone could dispute this. So my question as we write, the Sarkisian era story, we're not even done with the first chapter yet. Can you unfold some of the onion of what are you working on? How are you solving this problem? I realize that you might not even know, But, I'm going to steal from Julian Edelman. It's going to be one hell of a story.
Yeah, I think
Coffee McGee first.
I think he had no clue how to answer that because it wasn't a question. That wasn't even a word salad.
It wasn't.
I mean, that was the word salad that was thrown out 2 weeks before in the dumpster, and it was left there. It wasn't even thrown into it wasn't even taken away by the garbage company. Man, that is the stupidest thing that I've ever heard come from a grown person at a press conference when they were trying to actually either make a point or ask a question. It's different from like NFL, from like Super Bowl media days and that kind of stuff, or questions that people ask Saban when they're trying to get him upset. Like, this guy legitimately thought he was making a point. And he was unabashedly like worshiping Steve Sarkisian at the same time. This was disgusting. And I mean, how can you call yourself a journalist when you come up with this kind of gobbledygook? And I'll say this, look, I mean, all the interviews I've done in my career, they're not always pretty. Sometimes you end up talking yourself into a circle and you don't realize you did it. But
of course.
You got to come better prepared to a press conference, especially the 11th week of the season, and not calling the coach, you're that extraordinary person. This is garbage. Get off my lawn, Terry Middleton.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I would have paid money. If either Nick Saban or Mike Leach would have been there to answer that question in only the ways that they can. Sark actually answered.
He tried.
I guess.
Well, here's what I first thought of. It reminded me of I'm in philosophy 101, freshman year of high school, or freshman year of college, and the professor starts going on this rant of me and my friend, and we thought, what would an extraordinary person do? And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You are all those extraordinary people. So I need a 500-word essay by the end of class about what an extraordinary person would do to flip around the situation that you so helplessly have found yourself in. Please turn them in at the end of class. That's how stupid it sounded. It sounded like some self-pompous philosophy teacher. And if you're a philosophy teacher out there, I'm sorry for calling you self-pompous, but there's a reason you got into philosophy, all right?
Some of them are. Not all of them.
This
guy sounded like it.
He definitely sounded like that. And it made absolutely no sense. Maybe he is actually really good at his job, and he did just kind of tongue-tie himself and twist himself into not making any sense. We've all done it. Heck, I probably do it once a week. Yeah. I know for a fact I did it yesterday when trying to explain my statistic about Patrick Mahomes now being 11-0 in road division games. And by the time I was done, I confused myself. So I get it. I've been there. But that was just really bad.
Well, then you can get off my lawn, too.
I'm not defending him by any means because it was pompous and stupid. But, I mean, I've been there before. All right, so my get off my lawn today, and it's something that has irked me for years, especially in college sports, and when it comes to coaching, and it comes to, say, letting a coach go. So the news of the day, Justin Fuente and Virginia Tech have mutually parted ways.
This is the former East-West Memphis Tigers coach.
It is. Former East-West Memphis Tigers coach for 4 years. Turned the program around after Larry Porter. Very thankful for Mr. Fuente. But this whole mutually parted ways bull is absolutely so stupid. I'm going to bet $1 million Justin Fuente did not walk into the AD's office and go, you know what? I've heard the rumors. I've heard the ramblings from the fans. And, I looked on the message boards, and I'm going to have to say, I think y'all are right. I think the fans are right that it's best for both y'all and me to mutually part ways and for me to restart my coaching career. For me to give up a job that pays millions of dollars. I think you're right. I think we've come to an agreement and an understanding. That didn't happen. The dude was fired. Let's call it like it is. There was no mutual agreement. There was no, coming to the conclusion of this isn't going to work out for both parties. He was fired. They're always getting fired. Nobody agrees to lose their job.
I've seen people get fired up close, and I know it's not all of those situations, but when you've been fired, it wasn't really a mutual parting of ways. That's called quitting.
Exactly.
And that's usually
He
one
either
way.
Or
But
he was
when
fired.
Like you get fired, it's more like, the boss comes around to your desk and get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
With the heck
Pack
being
it
a different
up.
word.
Pack up your stuff. Security be here in 2 minutes.
Well, Drew, I've got this to tell you.
Good luck with your layoffs, all right? I hope your firings go really well.
Excellent. Great. Wow. Glad you finally watched that movie, too, by the way.
I'd seen it before. It just had been a long time.
Yeah, in terms of legality, according to Chris in Fayetteville, he was not fired. He was given the option to resign, or he will get fired. So that's why you got to put in the press release the mutual parting of ways, so that he doesn't have the
option to.
Because you don't want that on your quote unquote resume that you ever got fired.
Yes, but we all know what it means. We all know that means you were asked to leave, which is another way of saying you were fired. It's a nicer way of saying it, but it's the exact same thing. I mean, Tommy walked in here and said, hey, I think it'd be best if you left for the day. And, oh, by the way, don't come back tomorrow. I'd be like, okay, can I come back next week? I wouldn't count on it. That's just a nicer way of saying I'm fired.
Did you see the situation at FIU with Butch Davis? How he fired the school from his career. He quit. He said, I quit, and then just dragged the athletic department for very good reasons, by the way. If what he said is true, that they, are getting old shoulder pads from Mississippi State and aren't allowed to go on the road and recruits. Like, yeah, the coach fired the school at that point.
It's kind of the same way as like you've seen it in movies and stuff where guy gets fired and he says, you can't fire me because I quit. Like, that's about as close to a mutual agreement that you can get, is being fired and then saying, no, but I quit. So I won. Ha ha. I get the last laugh.
We got Lane and Leslie on hold here. So let's take Lane's phone call, then the break, and we'll go to Nate Olson. Lane, you're on Halftime. What's going on?
Hey, guys. My get off my lawn today is that I'm calling out my buddies at the deer camp down in Fordyce. You know who you are. I'm not going to call no names. But, just because Bear Bryant from Fordyce don't mean you got to be a loyal Alabama fan. But the ones that I'm calling out are the ones that root for Alabama. But now that the Hogs are doing good, they show up at deer camp wearing a hog hat.
Oh.
I mean, come on, man. You one way or the other. You was born in Arkansas. You need to, you know who you are. Let's root for them Hogs and quit being a bandwagon fan. Thank you, guys.
Well, you got to appreciate the phone call, Lane.
Call them out.
It's a big boat, though, for Arkansas fans, even if you jumped off. It's like, come on, let's...
I mean, you can come back, but, like, don't act like you're always on the boat.
And don't root for Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, you went for a swim. We know you went for a swim.
Rooting for two teams in this league, to me, I don't get it. Don't get it at all. All right, we're going to have to take the break. We got Nate Olson from Sportsbook Live coming up next, getting into the high school football playoffs. Halftime on a Tuesday. Don't go anywhere.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
The 86th Annual World Championship Duck Calling Contest and Wings Over the Prairie Festival is November 26th and 27th, Thanksgiving weekend in downtown Stuttgart, Arkansas. We'll have children's duck calling classes, hot air balloons, exhibitor tents, 5 and 10K great duck races, a beer garden, and the Michelob Ultra Duck Gumbo Cook-Off, the Wings Over Prairie Festival, Thanksgiving weekend in Stuttgart. For more information and a full schedule of events, visit stuttgartarkansas.org or call 870-673-1602.
Your company is known for top pay and great salaries, but how do your benefits compare to the competition? Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. In today's competitive labor market, great pay is no longer enough. Call me at 479-651-2292 and let's discuss your benefit plans to make sure your company has what it needs to attract and retain the best talent. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today, 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
You've trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand? Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance? All without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you're a fence builder or have building experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits, plus a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Frank Row Furniture's November Super Black Friday Plus sale. We are running a sale that will save you hundreds of dollars. On top of that, we are having our Super Black Friday Plus sale all month long. Here's where the plus comes in. After saving hundreds of dollars on already marked down prices, get another 10% off on top of that. Frank Row Furniture's November Super Black Friday Plus sale. Frank Row Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Reduce your home energy bills while increasing your comfort. AOG and OG&E are offering a weatherization program that provides free home energy efficiency upgrades to current customers in Arkansas and Oklahoma. If your home is at least 10 years old, it may qualify for these upgrades, which include attic insulation, caulking, air sealing, weather stripping, and LED lighting. To find out how you can benefit from these free home weatherization improvements, contact 844-413-3065 or visit AOGC.com.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings. Are you entered to win free mortgage for a year? Go to hitthatline.com for more details. Brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage and Mountain Home. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
And we're into the second week of the high school football playoffs in the great state of Arkansas. And we've been lucky to have Nate Olson with us from Scorebook Live all season long on Tuesdays. Nate, I had to. Friday night, I'm at dinner in Baton Rouge, sitting next to Gino Bell, and his son plays for Bentonville West, and he's got the game on his phone, and I'm glancing over once in a while. It's like, oh, look, it's 7-7. They're hanging with Northside for a while, and then slowly and steadily and surely, as the meal continued, like, okay. And I say, Gino put the phone away for a moment. And it was that turned out to be a pretty ugly one, didn't it?
Yeah, Northside rolls big in this one, and just showed how dominant they are with their two running backs, Sunquist Church, and they both of them ran for over 100 yards, and we knew that they're capable of beating a good team because. When they're on like that, they're hard to stop. I mean, they went toe to toe with Bryant, and it was into the fourth quarter. Bryant gets a goal line stop, but could have been a 6-point game there. So their big thing is putting together an entire game. But the same thing with Conway. They had them beat, and Conway scores with 20 seconds left to beat them. So I thought they would win that game. Bentonville West goes in with a 3-game losing streak, and now 4, and hung with them for a while. And they're a gritty team, but Northside has big guys in the trenches, and the great running game. Walker Gustavus, the quarterback. They're a good team. They're playing in a really tough league, and I think if you put them in the West, that's a different story. I think they contend, for maybe that second spot with Bentonville. They're that good, but now they get a tough draw of playing at Bryan again. But I think if you're a Northside fan, you should be encouraged, because that first game, that was one of the first teams in Arkansas that played with them. And yes, Bryant won by a couple of touchdowns, but it was close in the fourth quarter. And I think they can do it again. I think if Ty Massey and Sundquist Church, if they both of them have eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark. To me, they're the 2 best running backs in the state, probably, because if they're on a team by themselves, they're both running for about 2,000 yards. So if they can get the run game going, Bryant has been, susceptible to some mistakes the last couple of weeks. They had to dig themselves out of a hole and beat Conway. Didn't look particularly sharp against North Little Rock. This is the playoffs. It is at home. But I think Northside has a fighting chance in this game. If they can play their brand of football, get those backs going. And I think it was really important for them to dominate Bentonville West, because I think sometimes the bye is a misnomer. It can help you if you're hurt and you're trying to nurse injuries. But kids want to play on Friday night, and it's the routine of playing. And so I think the fact that they played on the road, won on the road in decisive fashion, going into this game with Bryant, they should be full of a lot of confidence.
I'll keep it in the 7A here for this next one. I know Cabot ran right over Springdale Harbor last week, but now they get Fayetteville, and Fayetteville's been hot. They've got the bye, they got the home game, everything, kind of pointing really good here for the Bulldogs to move forward.
Yeah, and I talked to somebody this week that's close to the Fayetteville program, and they said that they've actually been preparing for Cabot for a while, because they were pretty sure that Cabot would beat Harbor. Of course, they're familiar with Harbor, playing them before, so they have done a lot of preparation for Cabot. And the name that this person mentioned was Braden Jay, and that's who everybody mentions when they talk about Cabot. He's going to Harding University. He is a smallish slot back, running back, do everything, kind of Swiss Army knife for them, and he lines up all over the place. So the big thing with him is you need to know where he is, because he can get the ball in a variety of different ways. They're going to throw it to him. They're going to send him, around the end on a reverse, kind of do what the Chiefs do with Tyreek Hill, and allow that motion and all that kind of stuff. He's very fast, elusive. So he's a guy you need to keep, track of. Their quarterback, Grant Freeman, is a good player. He's emerged throughout the year to make some good passes, and the running game as a whole isn't bad. The thing that would concern me a little bit, if I'm a Fayetteville fan, is Cabot probably hasn't played their best game, and maybe that Harbor game was one of the best ones, and they haven't played as well against better teams, but they went up last year and beat Bentonville at Bentonville and really shocked the Tigers. So I think Fayetteville has their full attention. They know that Cabot can play with them, but I think the thing that Fayetteville has that is going to allow them probably to get to the state championship game is this passing game with Isaiah Satenya and Bladen Fike, the quarterback. You've got a blue-chip, world-class track star who is on the same page with his quarterback. Fike has improved immensely. You can read a takeout story on him on Thursday about how he's battled back from making the miscue with kneeling on the ball last year to becoming one of the better quarterbacks in the state. He has a D1 offer now from Middle Tennessee. So that's why I would give Fayetteville the advantage here, because I think that they have the advantage in the secondary on Cabot. But Cabot's got a good D-line. They're going to put pressure on Fike. But I think with the new offensive coordinator, Jay Wilkinson, they've shown that they can adjust to coverages in game, that Fike can call audibles at the line of scrimmage. They're confident in doing that. That probably gives them an advantage here. But definitely Cabot's a dangerous team, and a team that you may not want to see knocking on your door this time of year.
Staying in the 7A division. You know, Bentonville. You just brought up Fayetteville or Cabot versus Bentonville last year, and Bentonville will host North Little Rock, and they've been described to me a lot of times as a team that does a lot of good things, but doesn't do anything specifically great. How do you see North Little Rock at Bentonville turning out this week?
Man, this is going to be strength on strength. I saw North Little Rock play against Harbor a little bit. I saw them play against Conway, and they got completely dismantled. Conway's defense is tenacious. They're not all that big, but they swarm to the ball. Their quickness kind of overwhelmed North Little Rock. Then I saw North Little Rock play Bryant, and they came out like they were shot out of a cannon. Then those big guys really hit the Bryant linemen and kind of stunned them a little bit. Bryant had to recover to win that ball game. But that's going to be North Little Rock's strength. I talked to Bladen Fike, and he said, man, their defensive line was good. They beat them 14-7, North Little Rock did. He said, we had a hard time with our linemen containing them. They got to me a lot. And so that's what a lot of people say. They've got Braxton Johnson, who is a bowling ball, 6 foot 302, can move very well for a big guy on the D-line. He'll be inside. He'll be on the end and gets a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He's finally probably healthy, been nursing a leg injury. So that's what makes them dangerous, Drew, is that they are very good in the trenches, and they'll grind out a 14-7, 21-14 type game and be content with running the football. Malachi Gober is a improving quarterback, making some throws. I think for them to get to the state championship, he's going to have a magnificent performance to where he is a difference maker, throwing for, probably more than 200 yards or so, because teams can concentrate on that run game. But they have done a good job this year of instituting that run game to smash mouth, and on defense, really controlling the line of scrimmage. So this is going to be, I think this is going to be one of the games of the week, the top game probably, and will come down to the fourth quarter, I think.
Dropping down to 6A, Greenwood will be hosting Mountain Home the second time this year. How does the rematch round 2 go? Does it go Greenwood's way for the second time, or does Mountain Home get the upset?
I think so. I think Greenwood wins it again. They're more healthy than they were when they won 31-7. Hunter Houston's back. Interior linemen are back. Javon Williamson has subbed in at running back and done a good job. A lot of people like them to win the whole thing. That's the kind of reputation Greenwood has. You don't want to play them in the postseason. They beat Lake Hamilton for 35-0 in the regular season finale to get the number 2 seed. They had to win that game by more than 3. It's tough winning there. Mountain Home, though, you got to give it to them. Brady Barnett, 25-yard touchdown run that seals a win at Sylvan Hills. That's a good Sylvan Hills team coming out of the East. They beat them, and Barnett moved from the defensive backfield to quarterback midway through the season. Has been a great move. He's run and passed for about 700-800 each. So he's done a great job. Steve Airy changing the culture at Mountain Home. I don't think they can get it done here, but the last 2 years they won at Pine Bluff 24-20. Now they've won this game. Things are moving in the right direction. Probably won't end well on Friday night, but you never know. I mean, the thing about them is they're going to come down there ready to play. They're going to come ready to play. They'll try keeping it on the ground probably again, and Greenwood's going to have to stop Barnett, and they probably will be able to, but I like the way the program in Mountain Home is going. It's progressing, and they're getting better and better.
Nate, I know Arkansas and Northern Iowa basketball tomorrow. You got a connection to this UNI Panthers basketball program.
Yeah.
So I don't know who you'd be rooting for. You don't have to admit anything here, but these guys pretty well.
I do. Well, my mom went to school there, and then my friend that I went to college with at Northwest Missouri State, Colin McDonough, was the SID there for 10 or 11 years. So every year I went to Missouri State and watched them play and got to know Ben Jacobson, the coach. I think, even if I didn't know him, I think he's one of the better college coaches in the country with what they did with the Kansas upset, beat Texas A&M. Beat Texas, lost to Texas A&M in one of the craziest finishes I've ever seen, but had them on the ropes. But I like the way they play. They're very fundamental. They shoot the three well. Usually have a good big man. I think this is a team that could give Arkansas a run for their money because they don't do a lot of things to hurt themselves. They've got a couple of guys that can score and shoot the ball. And so if they're on, They played good defense, and they're a tough team to beat. And they've played at some of the tougher venues around the country. They play a really tough non-conference schedule, but I know Bud Walton will be hostile tomorrow night. It should be a good crowd there, and this will be a game I think that will be entertaining for the fans. I think it should be a close game, but Jacobson's a very underrated coach. He's very good, brings in kids that are solid guys and makes them better players, and that's been a good recipe for success for him.
Yeah, 4-time MVC Coach of the Year, 15 years there, and wins over 2 number 1 teams and a Sweet 16 appearance. Pretty good for Northern Iowa. Nate, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you, man. Have a great rest of the week.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, Nate.
It's Nate Olson from ScorebookLive.com. Thing is about Northern Iowa this year, and they return all 5 starters from last year when they went 10-15. They also get back A.J. Green, who was the MVC Player of the Year from 2 years ago. He sat out last season. But, big but, home losses to Nicholls State and Vermont in their first 2 games. Their only victory
Vermont's
was
not a bad program, though.
Still a home game, and lost by 14. And their only win is over Division III Dubuque. So I kind of expect, hope that Arkansas just blows the doors off them tomorrow. But it has taken a little bit of time to get things going. All right, we're going to wrap things up after the break. And what do we got? I don't know, but we'll get into it next. So maybe it's up to you. Who knows? Halftime going to wrap up next.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top-shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up. The vaccine is safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call them now, 452-6116.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Ever had a water heater that caused flooding? Or a water heater that won't put out hot water? What's worse is when the family uses up all the hot water, leaving you a cold shower. This can be a nightmare. Hi, it's Emily with Mr. Rooter Plumbing in Fort Smith. Did you know that we offer tankless water heaters so you never have to have this problem again? When you need plumbing, call Mr. Rooter in Fort Smith or book online at MrRooter.com. We're your neighborly company.
Make a Wake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Fork Hugin, and more. And Make a Wake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, SpaceOAR Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of SpaceOAR, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
This is ESPN 95.3. Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. B-Dubs, Wings, Beer, Sports. Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Halftime brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. It's Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan in Fort Smith, serving to give patients better lives and comfortable experiences. Riley Farm Dental provides all dental procedures, including braces, implants, and cosmetics, all the simple stuff as well, and have been voted top 3 best of the best 4 years running. Riley Farm Dental. You can give them a call at 226-3500. Go online to RileyFarmDental.com, or you can visit them at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. That's at the entrance of Riley Farms, Highway 71 in Fort Smith. So I feel a little better about this Tuesday now than when I started today, because I just didn't know what to make out of Tuesday. So
Tuesday is the day between Monday and Wednesday.
I guess that works enough for me. Got some baseball stuff happening. I saw the Mets apparently are settling on a general manager. How long have they been looking for a general manager? I mean, they had their first GM was fired. I think that was before the season even started.
That was.
The interim general manager was arrested driving while intoxicated. The Mets fell apart, and now they're bringing in a general manager in Billy Epler, who failed in Anaheim. 5 years in Anaheim, never had a winning record as their GM. That is with Mike Trout. But, of course, the Albert Pujols contract, you can always point to that. But that's a big market team. It's a huge market team. He's going to another big market team.
It's a secondary team in a big market, just like ultimately the Mets are too. Well, I'd say New York's probably more 50-50 than L.A. is with the Dodgers and Angels.
Well, they are, but it doesn't matter too, because the owner of the Angels has more money than God. I mean,
they all do.
He is that's my whole point. So pointing out to the market size or what team is more favored than the other in a big city like that doesn't matter very much, because the guy pulls wads of 50s out of his ears. So you expect that Stephen Cohen, this new Mets general manager, might be able to do the same thing, but he is the most vocal owner on social media.
Oh, he is.
And that's got to be tough to work with.
It ain't gonna fly if old Billy here can't get the job done in I say 2 years? Because I mean, just the way Steve Cohen acts on Twitter and acts publicly, it feels like everyone's on a very short leash. And he's got the money to throw around and hire and fire people, to where if you're not doing what he thinks you should be doing, or you're not performing at your job, or then especially if they're not performing on the field, he's going to clean house.
It's been bad ownership for a while there, man. I mean, the Wilpon family basically lost a ton of money thanks to the Bernie Madoff scandal, and they turned that into an excuse for not spending money on the Mets and this and that. And so bringing in a guy who failed in Anaheim, and I imagine he'll fail in Queens too.
Best of luck to him, but I don't have that much faith.
No, I hope he stinks there, because I don't like the Mets. So let's just keep that going.
I don't mind them. I mean, I wasn't alive in '69, so it doesn't really bother me that much.
Well, that's not the thing.
But I don't really mind the Mets.
Another National League team in a big city.
Yeah.
I hope they lose every game they play. Carlos Correa. Did you see Carlos Correa, probably the top shortstop in free agency?
I did.
The best player available in free agency. He said this to a Spanish language sports talk program yesterday. that Derek Jeter won 5 Gold Gloves, all of them from the age of 30 after his last Gold Glove at the age of 38. Correa publicly said that Derek Jeter did not deserve any of the 5 Gold Gloves that he won, any of them. Now look, you go back at the statistics for Derek Jeter, and he was a suboptimal shortstop. He did not have the range that most other shortstops in the big leagues had. When he got to, he made the play, though. I would venture a guess that he was by no means the best fielding shortstop in the American League at the age of 38. Probably the same at the age of 36. That's why the Gold Glove Award so often is
a popularity contest.
It's a popularity contest based on certain reputations, and sometimes it's because sports writers like a guy, and when you're the shortstop of the New York Yankees, they like a guy.
It's pretty easy to be liked, right? When your nickname's the captain. It's pretty easy to vote for a guy known as the captain, and it's pretty easy to vote for a guy who, when you think about him, you think about spectacular plays. You think about the diving into
the stands in the World Series.
You think about the flip
to the plate.
Exactly. Sure. You think of great defensive plays when you think of Derek Jeter.
The leaping throw and deep in the hole.
But unfortunately, that wasn't the norm with Derek Jeter. So
it's interesting, too, because, what's the franchise that most people expect Correa to sign with? The Yankees, where he played. And the reports say that, near the end of the career, he and Cashman, the general manager there for years, didn't really get along. So maybe Correa is playing to Cashman's, mindset there.
Maybe.
He certainly is not going to be the next shortstop of the Marlins.
No.
Owned by Derek Jeter.
I don't think Derek Jeter is going to become calling with a payday for him, but I don't know. I feel like for most of my life, at least, the Golden Glove Award pretty much has been a popularity contest. I don't know if it's always been like that. I don't know if you could say 18? Not 18. How many Brooks Robinson have? 15? Something like that. Gold Gloves were all popularity contests, but I'm sure there's a few, even with him, that there might have been a guy more deserving.
Well, our popularity contest for the day is over.
Did I win?
We are at the end of Tuesday. Tuesday's gone with the win, my friend.
Okay.
And Wednesday will be back tomorrow. If you got any songs about that, we'll play them tomorrow. So for Drew and Maddie, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Get up, get out, and get better.
Wherever work takes you, we've got you.